It wasn't long ago the U.S. Census Bureau declared America a nation of small towns. But many of those towns have a big problem. They need firefighters.
When you start talking about two Americas, we're sometimes our own worst enemies because we don't tell people that we need volunteers too.
That's Steve Hirsch of the National Volunteer Fire Council. Volunteers are the lifeblood of most small-town fire departments. In cities and towns above 10,000 people, most firefighters get paid. Volunteers are just 24% of the workforce. But in towns with fewer than 10,000 people, where budgets don't have nearly as much space, volunteers make up 91% of all firefighters. In many cases, they're the whole department.
And quite frankly, there's probably very few volunteer fire departments that don't need help. There are some that really struggle. There are a lot of places, especially east of the Mississippi, that rely upon fundraisers to make their departments work and don't get tax support.
The problem in recent years is finding new ones. The number of volunteer firefighters has remained stagnant for decades, while the number of calls to U.S. fire departments has tripled. The other challenge is finding younger volunteers. The percentage of firefighters older than 50 has doubled in the last 30 years. As for those under 30, no matter where you live, they're getting harder to find.
We also have to look at some non-traditional ways of recruiting people. We got to get a little bit better about that. We got to get better about recruiting women and minorities too.
In cities and larger suburbs, all of this might not be obvious. The number of paid firefighters is growing because bigger places are investing. And what it means to be a firefighter is changing. Most calls to fire departments aren't for fires, they're for medical aid. In smaller towns where hospitals are fewer and homes are more spread out, the bedrock idea of a fire department is on less stable ground.
There's not a firehouse out there that wouldn't take a plate of cookies. There's not a fire department out there that wouldn't accept a check to help pay for the needed equipment.
I'm Matt Pearl reporting.